biblical city of Ai into tissues might be able to help us think our way forward. At the time that Kenyon and Callaway excavated Jericho and Ai, the field of archaeology was in the midst of a struggle. For its entire existence, archaeology had been seen as a sub-discipline of biblical studies. A new archaeology, partly developed and used by Kenyon, which utilized the latest scientific and excavation techniques, offered the hope that archaeology was becoming its own independent field of study. Thus,
why put your life on pause? At University of Phoenix, you can finish your technology degree or certificate on time.
So,
becoming its own independent field of study. Thus, these archaeological assertions of Kenyon and Callaway. In the Bible, the city of Ai is mostly mentioned as part of Israel's emergence and settlement in Canaan. Outside of the book of Joshua, Ai is mentioned twice in Genesis and relates closely to the city of Bethel. Ai is also mentioned in Ezra 2 and Nehemiah 7.
Okay, so Bethel being the house of God. Okay, and Ai being closely related to that. Let me ask you something. How close is your eye to your other eye? Huh. One being the eye of God, and one being the eye of evil, a dead eye. AI. And yes, AI is dead. It is a heap of ruins, as you will see. And hasn't changed much. And most people say, oh, that's not where it's located. Well, it tells you right in the Bible where it's located. So
once again connected to Bethel, with them having a combined 223 people returning from Bethel.
223. Very odd number indeed. 223. 7 being the number of salt.
Babylonian captivity. Ai is the second city the Israelites encounter as they sought to conquer the land promised to them by the Lord. Following the great victory at Jericho, Joshua sent spies deeper into the region to determine their next move. The spies returned saying there was no need to send the entire army.
Only for magic eyes only, right?
Because the people of Ai are few. Joshua 7:3. The text then tells us that
that's very interesting. He says the people of Ai are few. That could mean a couple things. The people of Ai, meaning the people of AI. Okay, we were talking about AI. Not many people. Not many people.
The few of Ai defeated the Israelites and killed 36 of Joshua's army. Joshua 7:4 through 5. The remainder fled. The Lord reveals to Joshua that Achan had sinned. So, Joshua and the people dealt with the sin of Achan, Joshua 7:6 through 26, and attacked Ai again using a well-planned strategy, 8:1 through 29.
Good strategy here by Joshua. He will tell them, flee. Flee before them so that they will think that you're fleeing. And then come up on them from behind, too. And then attack them.
Second attack was successful, and we are told that Joshua burned Ai and made it forever a heap of ruins.
I wonder why he burned Ai. I told you, the only way you can defeat AI is through burning, through fire. And a heap is like a pyramid. A pyramid is also like a permit. So, there you go.
As it is to this day. Joshua 8:28. Following Kathleen Kenyon.
It means it's dead. That's what it means.
Shocking archaeological conclusions from Jericho. Joseph Callaway was attracted to examine Ai as well. So, from 1964 to 1972, Callaway excavated a location called Et Tel, which was thought to be the biblical
Et Tel, E.T., God is the E.T. Once I remind you again, he is the Olive Tav, okay? And that's just how it is.
City of Ai. After his excavations at
it really means it, but in the English language it means E.T.
Et Tel, Callaway concluded, like Kenyon at Jericho before him, that there was no settlement at Ai after about 1500 BC. Since the two estimated dates for Israel's entry into Canaan are mid to late 1400s.
I told you the Canaanites were kind of like how AI is dead, filthy, not real, not alive, can't walk, can't talk. They're the workmanship of men's hands, and they will be destroyed.
Or late 1200s BC. In Callaway's conclusions, there was no eye for Joshua to attack and destroy. Callaway bluntly stated, archaeology has wiped out the historical credibility of the
True.
conquest of Ai, as
Archaeology is nonsense, okay? And if you believe it, you're a fool.
reported in Joshua 7 through 8. There are several reasons why Callaway's historical declaration does not mean all is lost concerning the Bible's historical credibility, however. First, there is great ambiguity contained within the name Ai itself, which simply means heap of ruins, as does the name Et Tel. Further complicating the issue is the Hebrew use of the definite article in its treatment of Ai. In the conquest stories of the Bible, Ai is used with the definite article. The understanding of Ai with the definite article is the ruins, a specific heap of ruins.
That's where death is, okay? Nothing lies in ruins that is actually alive and well. Think about it. It's all death.
The ruins. We know for certain that Ai is the heap of ruins near biblical Bethel, since the two are mentioned together in several biblical texts. But what if there is more than one heap of ruins in the vicinity of Bethel? Which one would have been the ruins? The ruins must have been so well known to the biblical writers and to the people of the region that they were simply known as the ruins. But that doesn't mean Callaway's heap of ruins were Joshua's heap of ruins. So, beyond the ambiguity of the name Ai, the ruins, a second reason for rethinking Callaway's declaration is the uncertainty about the exact geographical location of the ruins. This uncertainty raises the question, is it possible that Callaway excavated a heap of ruins that were the wrong heap of ruins? Brian Wood has argued that he did. Third, the fact that Joshua used the name Ai, the ruins, demonstrates that it was indeed a heap of ruins when they crossed into Canaan. Joshua knew it.
And of course, crossed into Canaan, crossed over. Nibiru meaning the planet of the crossing. Hebrew kind of sounds like Nibiru. Hebrew. Get it? Means to cross over. And this is the difference between if somebody tells you they're a Jew, doesn't mean they're Hebrew. Doesn't mean anything like that. It just means they took this journey and crossed over. And I'm sure in the New Testament there's many examples. Jesus taking his disciples and crossing over. Crossing this way, that way. To cross over somewhere is also a sign that Nibiru was nearby.
Had been destroyed prior to their arrival.
And this is, of course, also talking about, the sun standing still and things like that. Once again, pointing to Nibiru and pole shift.
Joshua knew it was a heap of ruins, if for no other reason than the name itself. Even more interesting is that Moses knew it too. In the book of Genesis, where readers first hear about the city, Moses calls it Ai, the ruins. So, Moses, Joshua, and all who called that location Ai were proclaiming it to be the ruins. Callaway's declaration only confirmed what Moses, Joshua, and the Israelites knew. Ai was indeed the heap of ruins near Bethel that were ruined prior to their arrival. But these ideas raise another set of questions about Ai, don't they? What about the city's inhabitants? How did Joshua destroy and burn a place that was already a heap of ruins? It seems as if one answer leads to other questions. For those of us who believe the Bible and trust it, we do not seek to produce an archaeological history without the Bible. Neither do we want to hide our eyes to the fact that many areas of study, like archaeology, geography.
Oh, hide your eyes. Your eyes are the window to your soul. They're also the lamp of the body, where the Aten and where Re lies. Re, of course, meaning Ra. Ra, of course, meaning Israel. Is Ra God. It's a question. The answer is yes. Yes, among other things. And I'm going to stop there and just to make sure you understand this. The rays of the Aten. Ray is in the Aten. The only thing that existed after the flood was the Pi and the Ra. Okay? Never-ending spiral and the eye of God. Yes, Ray is not only the eye of God, but also the light. God is the light, the Word was with God, the Word was God. In God, there is nothing but light. And that light starts from the darkness, the pure darkness. Out of the ether stems the Ra, the Ray, the light. There you go. Of nature, by nature, always.